Hello everyone. Surprise, I am not live tonight. If everything goes right, you will see this link on Wednesday, April 24th at 7:30, and you'll be able to watch this video then. But I am babysitting at that time, so I am not able to come to you live. But I didn't want to leave you without a video this week, so I pre-recorded one for you so you can still see some fun projects. And I forgot to do the drawing before I recorded this, so I'll make a comment I guess afterwards. Yeah, because I can't do it now. Yeah, I'll just have to put a comment on the post after it goes up Wednesday night, and I'll tell you who won last week's card. So this is the card we made last week, and so somebody will win that, and I will post that later. I will also have my blog post ready to go, so it should post at the same time, and that will have the measurements for this card. So if you want to make this card or something like it, you'll have those measurements. And then the following Wednesday, I will draw for this card, and I should be live. As far as I know, I should be live the following Wednesday. So let's get started. This is kind of weird to not watch for comments, but that's okay. We'll just keep moving. This is another set bundle that is carrying over. This is Wild Ferns. So it has this stamp set and these dies. And these are carrying over, but like some of the other ones I've shown you, the bundle price is not. So if you want to save 10% on this, then you need to order this before the end of April. So just a week left to order this, less than a week by the time you see this video. This has got some really fun corner accent dies, which I used on here, and then some that will cut out the ferns that are stamped, and then some labels, and then just some extra little fern things to cut out. So it's really a pretty set. Let's get started. Let's do our stamping first. Trying to not lose all my little pieces that I've pre-cut. So this is Pebbled Path. And we're going to use this just kind of crosshatch or just woven, just a texture image we're going to use on this. And you might not have even have noticed it, but I did just stamp a few just to give it a little extra texture. But we have to be sure we do this before we emboss it. And so I'm just stamping Pebbled Path on Pebbled Path, and it will lighten up as it dries. That's the only Pebbled Path I'm stamping. I'll put that away. I'm going to set that aside for just a minute, and we'll do all of our cut and emboss machine work at the same time. All right, so then the other two things we're going to stamp. And the colors I used in this are, this was Pebbled Path, and then this is Pretty Peacock, and this is Lost Lagoon stamped in Pretty Peacock. And then this is actually a new color, a new product, and that is Summer Splash. But I thought it went very well with these colors. So that's a new in color. All right, so let's get our Pretty Peacock out. Stamp our fern. Oh, and actually, let me grab real quick. No, that didn't stamp very well right there. Let's try again. My Pretty Peacock is an old one, so it's a little firmer. I probably just need to go ahead and buy a new one. That's better. And then I forgot, as soon as I did this, I took my Wink of Stella, and you want to do it right after you've stamped it so that it'll kind of smear some of that ink in with your Wink of Stella. So it's almost like coloring it, but it's just taking the ink that's already there and kind of moving it in to the leaf area. So I don't know if you can tell, but it's kind of moved some of that color into the leaf area. But I do want to do that right after I stamp it while that ink is still a little bit wet. All right, now we can do our sentiment. Again, Pretty Peacock. we go. That is all of our stamping. So let's do our cut and emboss machine work now. We'll do our die cutting first. And you could do the die cutting with the small machine, but with the embossing folder, I need the big one, so I just pulled the big one out. So we are going to die cut our sentiment and our fern. Now, when you have a square or rectangle die like this, it's good to put it in at an angle so that the corner goes in first, and then it won't pop as much. It won't, you know, make your die cut machine pop up and down as much. All right, so I'm trying to make sure. Let me grab, because I want that to cut out without moving. I've got some Post-it tape. So I just got this on Amazon. And we will just, when we get it lined up, then just put that on there. All right. Sorry, my cut and emboss machine gets lots of work, so it is kind of squeaky now. All right, so there's our sentiment. And let me get our fern leaf out, and then I'll save this Post-it tape because you can use it multiple times. And there is our fern leaf. All right. Let me put those away before they get lost. I'm going to get, I think tonight, one of those mechanics bowls that are magnetic that people will use to put dies in so they don't get lost. My friend Betty ordered 2 of them and we're splitting them. It came in a pack of 2 and we're going to split it. So I think if it came in when it was supposed to, I think I will get that tonight. So that will be nice when I'm doing videos like this. All right, so now I'm going to take away all these plates. And I forgot to grab the embossing folder. Let me grab it real quick. This is the exposed brick embossing folder, one of my favorites. And it's a 3D embossing folder. So let me grab my paper. And you want to be sure you put it in so that the bricks go the way you want. Like I want it to go this way. And they give you, I don't know if you can see that, kind of. There's a line on the embossing folder so you can line it up so that it will be straight. And then you always want to put it in, fold in first. And because this is a 3D embossing folder, you're going to use this gray plate, and that's it. So just your base plate, your embossing folder, and then that gray plate. And then squeak it through. Mine's squeaky. Hopefully yours isn't squeaky. And now we have this wonderfully embossed piece of cardstock with our inking on it. Okay, let's move this out of the way. Okay, now we're ready to put it all together. So we want to wrap, I have some of this Pretty Peacock and gold ribbon. And you would think by looking at it with the gold in there, it would be really hard to tie. It is not. It is really easy to tie. But I'm going to wrap it around this layer. And it's not thick. You would think it would be very thick, but it's really not. So I want this to tie. Over here, I'm just going to tie it in a knot. Actually, let's do it the other way. So if you don't know, if you want your knots and your tails to lay straight, then you tie at the top with the same tail. So let me tell you what I mean. So this time, this one on the left is going over the top. So if I want it to go straight across, I would use the same tail and make sure it goes over the top. But if I want it to go up and down, then I do it opposite. So let's make this one go up and down. Hopefully that made sense. So that will make your knot go like this instead of like this. And in this case, that will keep it out of the way of the rest of our stuff a little bit better. So let's trim that a little bit. All right, now this can go on our card base. And because it's embossed, I like to use my liquid glue. Whoop. I'm gonna lose my pieces. No, and I even twisted it on the back. That's all right. So we'll put that on our card base. Just hold it for a minute so that it gets adhered. And then I have the, so something to notice on these are the two corner dies. I expected them to go like this, so you could have one on opposite corners, but they don't. They go like this. So in this case, this card is going to have this on the other side, which probably means I should have made my bow over there, or my thing over there, but too late for that now. So I'm going to take, just so it will adhere to this glimmer paper well, I'm going to use glue dots. And so I want it across the top. The easiest way to get glue dots is to put whatever you're wanting it on against it and then press. And we'll do one on the side. Okay. Then let's move this out of the way. Now we can just set this on top of our glimmer paper where we want it and press it down. And then those glue dots, which looks like one got, oh, I didn't get that one up high enough, did I? That's all right. He will be covered with dimensionals, because we're going to use, or he'll be up off of the card with dimensionals. All right, and then this guy, I have the two little other, hang on, they're over here, I can't get them picked up. Other little pieces that I already die cut. These are die cut out of Pretty Peacock, so I want this one to go in here, and I am going to use another glue dot. This time I'm going to put it on the front of it, because I'm going to stick that to the back of my sentiment. So this will just go like that. So it just kind of sticks in there. And then I want this one on first. And we may, he's going to go this way. And we may put them over that side more, since we've got a lot going on over here. Again, a glue dot on the front. Come on. There we go. I'm trying not to tear these. They are pretty skinny in there, so you don't want to tear them. So let's put that one over here. And then this guy, I'm going to put that face down just so I don't glue it to my paper. Same thing. Glue dot on the front. And, oops, put this behind that. All right, and now we're ready to put this on our card base. So I'm actually going to use mini dimensionals. Just grabbing them real quick. Oh, those are the big ones. So when I have leftover, so we'll just use these. But I want them to try and go on either side of the ribbon. And they may not exactly, and that's okay. These are just leftovers along the side. So if you're using dimensionals, either mini or regular, don't throw it away when you use everything that's on the inside. Strips of this are great if you've got a big piece that you want to put a dimensional on, or you can cut it like I did. They work great. So you don't want to waste any of the dimensional area. All right, and then this guy is just going to tuck in here. Ooh, it's so sparkly and pretty. And then, of course, we had to have more sparkle. So these are iridescent foil gems. And they are beautiful. And I've just got big ones left on this card, so we're just going to use big ones. And let's do one up here this time. There we go. So there is our card. Oh, we do need, I've got one cut here. Because this is such a dark color, it would be hard to write on that. So it's good to put a white. And you could always, let's do that. You can stamp something on the inside. So let's just take our fern that we have. And let's just stamp him. I really need to get a new pretty peacock. We'll stamp him full strength and then stamped off. So just a little bit of something inside too. And you could add more if you don't want to have much space to write. If you don't have a lot to say, you could add some into the top too. Well, let's put this on the inside. And there we go. So there's our card for today. I just love all the sparkle. It's funny, I went to a retreat. If you've been watching my page and my group, you've seen pictures of stuff I made at the retreat. And I brought this bundle with me because I hadn't played with it yet. And I thought, oh, I want to play with it. Well, I didn't bring any good greens. So I didn't have old olive or garden green or soft sea foam or any of those. Granny apple green, I didn't have any of those. All I had was Lost Lagoon and Pretty Peacock. So this is what I made. Sometimes it's fun to just make yourself work outside of what you would normally do, and you can end up with something that you like, because I was pleased with the way this turned out. All right, so you will be able to find the dimensions for this on my blog. And I will draw for this card next week. All right. Thank you for joining me. Sorry I couldn't be with you live, but next week I should be back live. Bye.